Rockstar gave Jason Duval maybe the shortest bio they've ever written for a lead. He grew up around crooks, he did a stint in the army, he ended up running drugs in the Keys, and now he just wants out. 4 sentences and they're done. But look at his left arm in the trailer. There's a tattoo there that might tell you more about who Jason really is than his entire official bio does. So here's everything we actually know about Jason Duval. The confirmed stuff, the theories that actually hold up, and a few people just pulled out of thin air. And I'm going to be honest about which is which the whole way through, because half the GTA 6 videos out there state fan theories like Rockstar confirmed them. We'll start with the bio because even that has a catch. The bio lives on the official GTA 6 site, and it's about as bare bones as Rockstar gets. Jason grew up around grifters and crooks. After a stint in the army trying to shake off his troubled teens, he found himself in the Keys doing what he knows best, working for local drug runners. It might be time to try something new. And the whole engine of the character is that he wants an easy life and it keeps not showing up. 4 facts. That's everything Rockstar has formally said about his past. Here's the part that people might read straight past. Look at what's not in there. We don't know his age, we don't know his rank, we don't know the unit he was in, and there's no mention of why he left the army or whether he left clean. Rockstar wrote a bio that's mostly negative space. And the single most revealing thing about Jason isn't a sentence in that bio at all. It's his tattoo on his arm. We're going to get to that, and it's one of the more unknown things about him. It only hits once you know a bit more about who Jason is, so let's talk about that first. So here's what Jason's actually doing when we meet him. This is where Trailer 2 did a lot of work that people might have skipped right past for everything else. Jason works for a guy named Heder, an old school drug runner Rockstar confirmed on the site and put right there in the second trailer. Heder owns a boatyard that fronts the smuggling, and he lets Jason live rent-free at one of his properties. In exchange, Jason does the dirty end. Shakedowns, collecting. If you remember from Red Dead Redemption 2, the missions you did as Arthur for Herr Strauss, where you collected debt from people, I would imagine that this is going to be similar gameplay to that. There's a moment where Heder is chewing him out for patching the leaks in his own roof instead of collecting rent off Heder's other tenants. That's the whole dynamic in one shot. Jason's the muscle who would rather be fixing a roof. And then there's the line that should worry you on Jason's behalf. In that same trailer, Heder tells Jason that his personal information has ended up in the wrong hands. The footage cuts to cops right after. So before Lucia ever even walks out of that prison, before the easy score goes wrong, Jason's name is already sitting in a file somewhere. And then you have his buddy Cal Hampton, who spends his time snooping on Coast Guard radio. These people are already being watched. That's the first thing I want you to take from the official material. Jason isn't a blank slate you drop into chaos. The walls are already closing in on him before he even meets Lucia. The easy life that he wanted was never really on the table for him. So now let's see where Jason kind of fits in among other GTA protagonists, because on paper, Jason's actually quite familiar to GTA fans. The reluctant criminal is essentially a Rockstar staple at this point. Niko Bellic from GTA 4 came to Liberty City wanting a normal life, and his past kept dragging him back into the crime game. Michael in GTA 5 was a retired bank robber who could not make retirement stick. Jason's kind of cut from the same cloth. A soldier who tried to go straight, drifted into the work that he already knew, and now he wants a simple version of a life that GTA 6 and the plot is going to rip away from him. If you've played a Rockstar game, you kind of already know a lot about Jason. What's genuinely new though isn't Jason himself, it's that he's one half of a pair. Every mainline GTA before this gave you protagonists who ran their own arcs. Even GTA 5, with 3 protagonists, kept their stories and arcs kind of on separate tracks and only really crossed them over at heists. GTA 6 is the first time that the whole campaign is built around a relationship. Rockstar's own words are that their bond is at the center of the game. That's a real structural choice, and it changes what Jason is for. He's the calm half of a 2-person engine. And that's kind of my read on him as a character. Jason appears to be the most restrained protagonist that Rockstar has written in a long time. None of the Trevor chaos, no chip on the shoulder, at least not yet. He's tired, he's good at the work, and he's sick of it. He wants less, not more. And that's a pretty bold choice for a GTA lead, and it only works because of what they buried on his arm. So let's talk about his arm. So Jason has a tattoo on his left arm. You can see it in the trailer footage and in the official screenshots. The design is a winged parachute with a skull at the center. The skull is wearing a beret, and across the bottom there's a banner carrying a single word, Marauders. Most people saw this tattoo and moved on, but a GTA forums user named Johnny C Gaming did not. He wrote a near 1,000-word breakdown of this one tattoo, and once you read it, you're not really able to unsee it. So here's the thing about Rockstar. They don't do random. This is the studio that models the correct stitching inside a 1980s holster, that gets period correct license plate right on cars that you'll drive past and never look at twice, and the studio that animated horse balls to shrink in the cold. So they don't accidentally ink the word Marauders onto the arm of their lead. They deliberately chose that. So here's the theory, and it's labeled as a theory. Marauders points to Merrill's Marauders, a real and famously elite US Army unit whose lineage runs into the modern day Rangers. Follow that, and Jason wasn't just in the Army, like his bio might suggest. He was Special Forces, a Ranger, and that kind of changes the whole character. The bio makes him seem like a drifter who just fell into drug work, but his tattoo says that the drifter can clear a room. So here's the honest part. The tattoo is real, and it really says Marauders, and that's on the screen. Jason being an actual Ranger with a service record is more so fans connecting the dots. Smart dots, good chance of being right, but still dots at the end of the day. There's one more piece that does make me curious though. People clock Jason's shooting stance in the trailer. He has his eyes open, he's squared up, and that's kind of the way that someone actually trained holds a weapon, versus the movie cool one eye squint sort of thing. Stack that on top of the previously mentioned tattoo, and you've got two separate hints that are pointing in the same direction. And if I'm betting, and this is me betting, not me reporting, Jason's military past isn't just set dressing. It pays off in an actual mission or a story beat. Pencil that in. So another thing to think about with Jason, and this is one that's actually very important to the story, is whether he and Lucia end up turning on each other. So obviously, through Rockstar's marketing and just the internet's hype of GTA 6, it's pretty clearly a Bonnie and Clyde sort of story. Rockstar's basically invited that, and the two of them are robbing their way across the state in the trailers, and that doomed couple energy is all over it. And if you know the actual history of Bonnie and Clyde, it does not end in a wedding. They get ambushed and they die together. So a big chunk of the community is convinced that one of these two stabs each other in the back before the credits roll. But here's the thing about that. No one really knows. Rockstar said almost nothing about the actual plot, which means every story take right now is just a guess, including mine. So let's actually weigh it instead of just pretending one side is settled. The betrayal read has real stuff behind it. In that motel scene from the first trailer, the whole conversation is about trust. On the GTA 6 website, in this shot of Lucia and Jason embracing each other, if you look at Lucia's face, you can clearly see that something is up. And a lot of people clocked what looks like a gun in her hand behind Jason's back. Bonnie and Clyde, the template Rockstar is openly leaning on, ends with both of them dead in a car. So if you want to believe that one of these two turns on each other, the trailers have given you plenty to point at. That's a fair read, and I'm not going to talk you out of it. Wireland though is actually a little different. And it's only a lean, not a fact, but I think the knife in the back, if there is one, is not going to come from Jason or Lucia. I think they'll stick together till the end. I think it will come from the people around them. The marketing has made it clear that their bond is the center of the game.